In this video, we're going to dive into some of the secrets that underlie financial markets. I'm going to give you an alternate way of looking at support and resistance levels that will really enhance your understanding, and we're going to have a bit of fun with it as well. We're also going to go through some rules that will prove them out in real time. It's a very, very powerful thing to see, and once you see it, you'll never be the same again. Make sure you watch to the end because there's some very, very powerful tips and tricks inside this video that could really change your financial future. Stay tuned, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS and the inventor of the CTKS method. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back, CTKS family. My goal is to assist you to become more of a financial and emotional blessing to yourself and those you love, based on more than 30 years inside financial markets. If you would like to know where smart money buys and sells, please subscribe. Let's run the numbers. Professional traders and investors don't just look at the charts they trade or invest in, they get the market pulse. They need to understand the market structure and reflect price reality. This is very different to recent indicative price or story-based analysis. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody who did their active learning in the comments in yesterday's video. Absolutely superb. Here's an active learning question on active learning. Do you find it helpful? Let's look at the top charts. And I shared this live chart inside TM6, inside the masterclass. We can see that the fear gauge of the market actually dropped down, and it significantly dropped down too. We can also see that the DXY weakened substantially. Bond prices came up a little bit and yields just flattened out slightly. What we can tell, if the DXY continues to come down, that should be very good for risk-on assets such as Bitcoin and such as the main markets. If yields start to increase, that could throw negative price strain on gold, so something to be aware of. We may be witnessing the starting of a very small turnaround in junk bonds, which would indicate risk-on. This is fantastic. This is exactly what we want to see. Overall, the markets are looking quite positive at the moment. If you didn't catch yesterday's video, please go and have a look at it. It's so terrific, especially the comments. We talked a lot about the Tier 1 charts and why these are so incredibly important. Always remember, the market pays you based on your synchronization. If you're highly synchronized, you can take any amount out of the market that you wish. If your synchronization is very low, you'll lose money. This is the law inside financial markets. The market simply pays you for your synchronization. That's why active learning is critical. Objective dynamic market structure is not well understood by a lot of people. A lot of people say, shouldn't the lines just say stay the same? Well, you can go back 100 years. For example, in the S&P 500, shouldn't the line stay the same in the S&P 500 from 100 years ago? Of course, that's not the way things play out practically. That's where the dynamic part of market structure comes in. We've seen some shifts inside Bitcoin's price structure, and there's a bit more overhead resistance playing in. These particular lines are called SLs or Stanfield levels, and they are only derived through the CTKS method. One thing that we know, the thicker the line, the more gravity and more strength it has. Aggregation is another really important aspect of these SLs. If you see a lot of aggregation, that means a lot of these Stanfield levels are just hanging out, having a beer, a wine, or a cocktail together. If they're above price, it means that resistance is in play. That means the price may end up getting the hangover. If you have the opposite situation where a lot of strong lines, a lot of Stanfield levels are underneath price, price may get magnetized down to that. After all, price wants to join the party. When SLs aggregate underneath price, and they're especially strong, and there are a lot of them, they're like a support group. They're like a personal development boot camp. They just rally price. They say, price, you can do it. Just go up, go up, go up. Yeah, it's fantastic. What you will find is price is always moving in a wave. It's always rebounding between SLs, from SL to SL to SL to SL. That's what it loves to do. It loves to go down and get a big boost of emotional support and then go up and party, come down and consolidate, get some emotional support, and then go for it. Yes, price could well be a person. When I was lecturing first and second year statistics, which I did for many years, I always sought to make the learning really, really fun. Why is that? Because people remember it. Your understanding is key inside financial markets. If I talked about a particular fraction, a numerator and a denominator, you might say, Ken, what the heck is that? It could be something like this. The numerator is the top of a fraction. The denominator is on the bottom. But how do you remember the term for which is which? Well, it's pretty simple, and this is what I taught my stats students. All fractions, and this is a fraction, all fractions are really naughty. They're nude. Ken, what do you mean? They're literally nude. They're the numerator and the denominator. And knowing the top and bottom of a fraction could potentially save your life. So don't be at all surprised if I break out into kind of insane ways to help you to learn how to understand what is happening. Your understanding is the main thing, not remembering. I'm really against rote learning and remembering. I want you to understand. Financial markets pay you for your synchronization. You're not combating and going into battle against anybody else. The market pulls all the money and it just allocates it to people who are synchronized. It's that simple. If you know that there's a crazy party above price, price may well go up there, but it could get a headache and need to come down to a motivational boot camp, which is a support level. If you keep these concepts in mind, it will make learning really, really fun. You'll say, wow, that's a really weak crazy party. For example, if price was down here, our crazy party is not so crazy party, is it? Because it's really, really thin. But if we go up to here and we see all these participants in the crazy party, well, price is likely to get a hangover and need a motivational boot camp to restore its party spirit. Trying to figure out where these crazy parties are and the motivational boot camps are is every investor's and trader's focus. Many investors and traders get called in when the party goes crazy. There's loud banging lights, flashing lights, banging things, all sorts of stuff happening. After all, it's a crazy party. But what happens during that crazy party? Price tends to get a bit of a headache and it needs to go back and get motivation from lower support levels. In the next couple of days, I'm going to be releasing some major tier 1 indicators that show you where these crazy parties are happening and where the motivational boot camps are in full force. It's an indicator that you can simply add to any version of TradingView. For example, the free one will do it, not a drama. About 37 years ago, I started my finance degree, and I must tell you, my professors were downright boring. They took very complex subjects and made it even more complex and even more boring. I promise I won't do that with you. You should have fun no matter what you do in life. And if we're talking about crazy parties and motivational boot camps as a proxy for resistance and support, hey, why not? The CTKS method is the most powerful method to determine smart money buy and sell levels inside any particular price chart. It applies to any price chart. Anything inside crypto, forex, stock market, commodities, it doesn't matter, it applies. Why is that? Because price is a motion in motion. Also, the CTKS method marks up everything from the inception of price history, not just recent indicative price. People would be saying, oh, look at this, the NASDAQ is getting over a level of resistance. It finds support, it's going to explode. Well, not so fast. We don't know where the party and the motivational groups are hanging out. There are parties and there are crazy parties. There's motivation and there's motivation. How do we determine what it is? We just simply pop on the indicator, which is available through the CTKS method service. And if you keep your subscription, this indicator will keep on working. But if you drop your subscription, the indicator will go on strike. It'll say, no. These indicators are really stubborn like this. What do we see? We can see the price got up to a party line, and then it was a pretty mild party. It just consolidated. And sometimes you'll think, what's consolidation about? That's when price moves up, and there's still a lot of positive momentum inside price. That's why it goes flat. It's not coming down. That's one of those really good parties. And then where do we see price going? It blasted through this SL on its way up to the next SL. When you analyze any price chart, keep your eyes on the SLs. Look at this heavy party resistance above. What does it mean? Price was pushed down. Remember what's happening with Bitcoin. Had a bit of a party, and then it's coming back to just restore, just get its strength up to go again. But we see it didn't get up to this 13,150 level. Why is that? Because the party above is pretty full on. These are very strong levels of resistance. You could say the party here is almost, well, at the moment, is pushing the NASDAQ's price away from it. Could it come in and touch it? Absolutely, it could. But you have to be aware, when there's a party going on, just looking at it can force price downwards. This is why we say this is negative air. All the gaps below that SL are called negative air. When you look at this particular line of support at around the 12,825 mark, you can see a thing called positive air. Positive air is where price is being supported. If you think the price is emotional, and it is, you can think of support as emotional support because it is. When we saw a big drop off on the VIX, a big drop off on the DXY, and very little movement in the NASDAQ, a lot of people would be scratching their heads and saying, why didn't the NASDAQ just party? Fear just dropped off a cliff. The DXY just did a huge retracement. Why isn't the NASDAQ going up? You know why. Because that heavy sell resistance. You would only know this with the CTKS method, and you can apply the CTKS method yourself. You can learn it. It's there for knowledge transfer. You can already see how powerful it is. What about Bitcoin? Why is Bitcoin retracing? This is this blue line across all of the charts. Why is Bitcoin retracing? Because we know it has so much sell area resistance above in that particular zone. The CTKS method service is all about the levels, and it saves you an enormous amount of time. There's so much work that goes into creating those particular levels. It can take a substantial amount of time. And you can get the private invite-only indicator access by going inside the service to Area 4, which is in Member Chat, Indicators, Benefits, and Code of Conduct. Just go in there. Even if you've asked me before to add you in, please go in again and fill out this form. It will help you to understand what is actually going on. It answers many questions as well. More and more indicators will be added as time progresses. Another way to look at it, if you're not into crazy parties, it could be headache time and a motivational boot camp or recovery time as well. Or you could say the price moves between a headache and strengthening, And what we see here at current levels, there was a strengthening support level at around that $27,000 level. Bitcoin is currently 26,862. The strengthening wasn't strong enough. Price dipped below it. There's a stronger strengthening level around the 25,930 level. So just bear this in mind. I'll be releasing the Bitcoin and NASDAQ indicators to those people who go and fill out that form. You will need to fill out the form to get these indicators. Inside the CTKS method service, Tier 1 charts are done first, then Tier 2, then Tier 3, then community requests. And there will be many more charts than this over time. It's good to bear in mind that the service is only 3 weeks old. When we zoom in on a lower time frame, and this is about the last day with Bitcoin's price action, you can see as Bitcoin comes down, what happens to all the other alts. Do they come down or do they go up? What you will see and what you will find in the crypto market, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Bitcoin does have a gravity. A lot of people don't think that that is possible. Well, let's look on a 1 second view and see what we can see. We can see Bitcoin is coming down at the moment. Look at Ethereum following Bitcoin's gravity. What about BNB? Following. XRP? Following. ADA? Following. DOGE? Following. MATIC? Just a bit weaker than Bitcoin's gravity. What about Solana? It's following. This is what happens when especially Bitcoin comes down hard. It will drag the entire crypto market with it. This is on a 1 second time frame and it plays out across the entire crypto universe. Therefore, if you're not looking at the headaches and the strengthening levels on Bitcoin, you don't potentially know what's happening to your beloved projects. Your entries and your exits could be all over the place. You must understand Bitcoin first and foremost. That's why it's a tier 1 chart. If Bitcoin comes down, it's going to drag the entire crypto market down with it, and that's what we see. What about this? You say, Ken, but Tether didn't move and USDC coin didn't move. Yep, they're stable coins. They're not supposed to. As you look more deeply into the charts, you will realize that specific projects overextend and underextend, both positive and negative movements. So SAND, for example, can be following Bitcoin's gravity, but it overextends any upward move and underextends any negative move. This is still following Bitcoin's gravity, but it's doing so in a specific way. Litecoin as well. XDC, these are the greatest gainers in the past 24 hours. Immutable X, Aptos, Cake, and Mana. Oh, I'm getting hungry. Many people would look at what I say or hear what I say and say, Ken, you got to be crazy. These are moving in a completely different direction than Bitcoin. Well, let's check it out. Let's have a look on the 1 second view. Here is Bitcoin. This is what it's doing. And here we have SAND. Notice what SAND is doing. SAND was following Bitcoin's gravitational pull down, but when it came up more. And what about Litecoin? You can see this is on a 1 second basis. So it's not a lot of data, but it shows you what is happening. A lot of people think that when a particular alt is just rallying, it's decoupled from Bitcoin's gravitational pull. You can see clearly not the case. And you can see it playing out on a per second basis. I hope that this changes your mind. If you think that it's not worthwhile looking at Bitcoin, maybe you're seeing something that you've not seen before. It should be very, very apparent why Bitcoin is a tier 1 chart. And in yesterday's video, we looked at Bitcoin versus a number of other things and the DXY and gold and all sorts of associations. If you haven't seen that video, please check it out. It's going to be really, really educational for you. There is a huge difference between the retail mindset and the professional mindset. Retail is only interested in a specific chart that is traded or invested in. Professionals wouldn't even look at the chart that they're trading and investing in until they have the market's pulse. I hope I've conclusively proven out why that is the case. Professionals are professional for a reason. They were retail, but they know retail doesn't work. You need to do things differently. Looking towards the greatest losers past 24 hours, Gate Token, The Graph, Huobi Token, Mask, Neo, Ton, and KAVA. What about those greatest losers? Certainly they can't be following Bitcoin's gravitational alignment. Or can they? Look at the graph. The graph is coming down as Bitcoin is coming down. Look at Mask. As Bitcoin came down, it overextended the negative side. That's why we want to focus on strength. You don't want this negative move to move against you if you can avoid it. What about Neo? When we look at NEO, it's just updated. When we look at NEO, it's following Bitcoin's gravitational pull. Yeah, you gotta love 1 second charts with low liquidity. What about TON? Following Bitcoin's gravitational pull. And KAVA starting to invert, starting to gain strength. This often happens when things sell down dramatically. What about VET? I need to put this on 2 seconds. You can see it just aligning with Bitcoin's gravity. What about AGIX? Aligning. These are the greatest losers, and you can see that the greatest gainers also did the same thing. Now you're seeing why specific charts go into tier 1. They are very, very, very important. Another thing to note, when price is moving, and we're looking at Bitcoin now, but it's largely irrelevant. It doesn't matter what chart you're looking at. The same concepts hold across all charts. You might say, what I'm going to share with you is tier 0 knowledge. If particular price, whatever chart it is, we're looking at Bitcoin, but it could be anything. If it drops below that smart money support, it's going to the next levels down. It needs to gain support. It needs to gain strength to rebound. If it can't make it up, it's going back. If it can't make it through there, they might consolidate, but it's going down. You can see the price is always moving from SL, Stanfield levels, to Stanfield level to Stanfield level, up and down, always up and down. If it can't hold it, it's going down. If it can hold it, it's going up. There are 2 levels of standard certification, level 1 in the CTKS method and level 2 in the CTKS method. You need to do both levels if you really want to understand what is going on inside the CTKS method. All the lines that I've drawn, you can draw yourself by learning level 1 standard certification, and there's quite a few things that you'll need to know. And level 2 is where everything comes together. Level 1 will give you the foundation. Level 2 will help you to build the skyscraper. And there's a lot to know. It's not simple, but it can make you a fortune. To be eligible for these CTKS indicators, you must go back in to 00 member chat, pick area 4, and just scroll down to the form and fill that form out. There you go. That's all that you need to do. Also, for the students marking up their own charts with the CTKS method, make sure that you re-audit every single time period, every single intersection. You can also learn CTKS Level 1 and Level 2 certification inside the Crypto Trading KS Masterclass. There have been a large number of qualified applicants for the Meditative Mind CTKS Partial Masterclass Scholarship. I'll be reaching out next week and making contact. And if you're interested in a partial masterclass scholarship, it's all about dedication and commitment, a visual sign of positive excellence in process. The masterclass is more than 30 years of knowledge transfer. Masterclass scholarship awardees are a very special breed of person, and I handpick them for these awards. Demonstrating active learning in the comments each and every day is really important, having that dedication and commitment. To be granted a partial masterclass scholarship is a very, very big congratulations to that person as well. I'd like to thank everybody for their exceptional active learning in the comments yesterday, and of course across all the videos. You're amazing, amazing people. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.